Well, installment number 4. It's quite muddy out, so this is probably going to have to all have some gravel brought in eventually because it hasn't been used. Lately it has been being used, so it's getting kind of muddy. Here's some more of those thorn bushes that I'm going to have to get rid of. I don't know if you can see the size of these thorns on these things. Ow. These thorns, if you look at my finger, they're about 1 inch long. If you look at those things right there, and they are everywhere. We did have some pretty good luck pulling them out last weekend, but it's going to be a little bit of work each weekend, you know, gradually pulling these things out. As we come back up towards the yard, I had a landscape guy come out, and he's going to come out here, and I don't know if you guys can really see how thick all this brown you see on here is. It's grass and clippings. He's going to come out here and dethatch the whole thing, which basically it's like a power rake that rakes the stuff up out of the ground. He'll remove it all, and then the good news is he's only going to charge me $40. That's what I'm finding up here. The prices are pretty reasonable. Looking at my shed, I've been thinking about this. This kind of in itself is an interesting little project. The door height is about 5'2", so you're constantly whacking my head on it. But it is a nice concrete block structure. So I'm trying to think how I could make this thing into kind of an interesting, like a shed or a porch. So putting a higher pitch roof on it maybe, and a nice door, maybe having it kind of come down this way, like a drive under it. Maybe I could put my tractor there. So if anybody's got any ideas on interesting sheds, that's something else I'm starting to think about a little bit. I did have my builder come out today, and we spent about 1.5 hours, 2 hours talking about the project. And yesterday I talked to Dave a little bit, and in that discussion we kind of came to the conclusion, or Dave got me to think about, maybe I don't really need that second story. And it's kind of funny because everybody here you talk to, put a second story on, put a second story on, and you'll be up high, you can see. But really it makes the project very difficult for me because it really constrains the utility room and the bathroom area, as well as going high and a big high pitch and lots more weight on the foundation. So I'm on to plan C now, which basically is fill this area in right here like we talked before. You'd come down here. Normally we're going to come here and kind of cut back here, then add the second, or the square this off. But now I'm thinking if we're going to go ranch house, which I think that's the way we're going to do, so we would bring this area, instead of being constrained to my kitchen, which would have been right backing to this wall, what I'm going to do is move out to this tape line, and that'll give me, counting the inside of the house in this area, it gives me 12 feet by about 18 feet to put the utility room in, half bath, and a place for the bathroom, or half bath and a place for the laundry room. So that makes it a lot easier on the design side. So we're basically going to come right off this line, and then the more we get talking, the builder says, well, you're tearing out 2/3 of this structure here, why don't you just tear out the whole thing, and that way, you know, why not take out the whole thing for the amount of cost? And I'll show you what he proposed, which made a lot of sense to me. So as I come around the front of the house, basically where this jog is, right here in the house, you can see it jogs in about 3 feet actually. He would just take the foundation and extend this line basically all the way out here, so I'd gain 3 feet here, and basically demo the whole thing from that point off, would come around. So I'm going to have a new foundation here, and then the more we talked, he said, why don't you just run it out here another 10-12 feet. So we come down here, and kind of, if you look over there, you can't see it, there's a board right there. And that would give me 12 feet off of here, which makes my kitchen a lot more comfortable in there, and a dining room. And the other thing I like about doing it that way, before I was working with it kind of within the constraints of this door wall, this door, and trying to keep a structural wall here. Once we come off here, we'll have a footing in here. This will be a wood wall all the way across on this side of the great room. So that allows me to put as many windows or door walls or anything I want to do over here, because we're building it from scratch. So it gives me a lot more flexibility, and it makes for, I could put a nice bank of windows all the way across this side. So when you're in that great room, which is going to be pretty big now, the great room is probably going to be, it's going to be about 31 feet by probably 30 feet. So pretty good size room, and it'll be nice to have all glass off the back side of it. And then what I could do here, if you, let me swing around here, you get a better view of this. But so basically the room would come from there all the way down to here. I'm kind of standing at the corner, then we'll turn and go this way all the way up here, then back across 3 feet beyond the end of the house. And what that's going to allow me to do here is I'll put a standard footing in here, and then out here in this area, as I move over, this is where the garage will sit. You know, this is, I got tape down here, but this garage will sit here. I can really do whatever I want here. Got a lot of room for the garage. I'm pretty flexible, but it allows me to keep this area from this board to this board, which is about probably 16, 17 feet. That could be that screen porch area that I would have. So it would be 31 feet, or 31 feet deep by about 16 or 17 feet wide. So what I would do is probably put a couple of French doors off this wall line. Let me get lined up so you can see it again. The end of the house will be here. Then I can put a set of French doors coming out into this room. Right now I'll just have the French doors, but when I build that in, it'll give you a nice area here. As you see, you can kind of sit and look at the lake from, if I walk inside of it, you get the feel. This is what you would see from the inside. But as it gets late afternoon, like it is now, you get the sun coming from the west, which is this side. So I might have kind of create an open porch thing here. The other thing I was thinking about, and he's going to price out, if you notice I've got the truck kind of sitting placed there. This would be the house line here. Well, I got thinking about it. The garage is going to be back in this way, so it's kind of a long ways from the house. So this was originally just going to be a porch out here. Well, then I got just kind of a covered stoop, came out maybe 8 feet by 10, 12 feet wide, cover as you come into the house. Well, why not just come out and do a carport over it? Not a carport really, but a kind of a covered entry, I guess is what you'd call it. So we'd run the roof, bring the roof line out, and there'd be 2 pillars back on this side, and just kind of how the truck is now. If you look, you pull in, you'd have 3 or 4 feet on each side of the vehicle. You could pull in, unload the groceries, and then pull down here and pull in the garage, or pull off to the side, or we could leave one of the vehicles there. Go back inside. This weekend I came up, Ron was working this weekend, but I pulled out all the electrical's been removed, all the plumbing's been removed except for the main drain pipes and the stacks. And the nice part about in here, when we bump that out, this really will be extending, if you look here, from this point, this corner wall out. So this wall you're looking at right now will come out, and this wall, which is, as I walk into this kind of the L-shaped room, this whole room will be gone. And this long wall will be gone. But the thing that it allows me to do, because this is the master bedroom in here, it faces out on the lake, which is nice. But it allows me to bump out into this room, probably this, this far, and make a walk-in closet, a nice large walk-in closet for that bedroom. But this utility room, this little area right here, which you see, I was going to have to put in the furnace, the hot water, the well, the washer and dryer, and anything else mechanical would need to go in here. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to go from this point here that you see, this pipe, just follow that line, this wall will go out, and I'll have another oh, you can see that blue tape out there. I'll go out another 6-8 feet. So this room then becomes like almost a 13 by 18 utility room, which makes it a lot easier. I can make a nice laundry room and not have that in with this messy utility kind of stuff. Plus, I think based on the plumbing, we'll be able to get a half bath out here. And the other interesting thing this contractor said, he said, well, you're doing this whole slab, so this whole thing's to be on a concrete slab. He said they insulate the floors underneath them now, so you don't get any sweating. If you look in this room, I don't know if you can see that moisture in there. That moisture is like sweating. This time of year with slabs, you always get sweating on the slabs. I get it at my house in Rochester too a little bit. But what they do is they put foam underneath of it, and it virtually eliminates all the sweating. But then he was saying, he said, well, you know, if you got a slab here, he said it's really pretty easy to heat these slabs nowadays. They have this better materials. They can run lines through here, and what they do is you heat the floor with a hot water heater. Basically, you just put a pump on your hot water heater, you pump the water through this floor system, and you'd have radiant heat on the floor. So I find that pretty interesting, and I'm thinking about that. I'd still have to have a dual system. The only thing he said about doing something like that is you're not going to turn it on and have heat in 15 minutes. It takes a while to bring it up because you're heating that whole slab. So, but I would still have a furnace for the other side, and I'm thinking about maybe running some ducts over here that you could turn on initially while the heat came up in the floor. So, but it's really cost effective, and with this going with foam under the floor, he said that you can put carpet down. You don't get any of this sweating in it, so you can actually put carpet down. So you'd have a nice warm floor here. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think we're pretty firm on the design where we're going. He's going to try to get me some hard prices next week, and it makes it a little bit easier for me doing the finish work, because the siding's not so high. I'm not on a 2-story area in a ladder working up off of scaffolding. Because under the other situation, the high point of the house would have been 26 feet. I would really just be doing the peaks then where I'd have to be on the ladder on this end, and even at that, we'd only be up about 16 feet. So that's not too bad. And also in the bathroom, he suggested, and I might have to look at, is maybe cutting these floors out a little bit with a saw around these pipes and trying to figure exactly where the pipes are for the drains, make sure that those work. And I think what I'm going to do next weekend is rent a camera and bring it up. They have these snakes that you can push down the drains now, but it has a camera on the end of it, lighted camera, so you can go down and look around and see basically what you have. Make this window a little bit wider, a little bit taller, and somehow incorporate it into the shower. And then in this room, this would be the bedroom. And I really don't like these windows. They're in pretty rough shape, actually. You probably can't see, but this one's kind of broken. And I'm going to take this out, widen it out, and maybe bring it down this way and put a nicer, bigger unit in there. Just because you have a nice view out of here. The view is of the lake right here. So, and if not, I'd rather find out now than down the line. So, yeah, I'll walk you down by the water today. The water came in quite a bit. That last weekend, that wind was unbearable. Man, you could barely walk out here. And it's nice today. We just had a big thunderstorm rolled through about a half hour ago, and that's about it, I guess. So that's the end, installment 4. We'll talk to you later. And if not, I'd rather find out now than down the line. It's nice today. We just had a big thunderstorm rolled through about a half hour ago, and that's about it, I guess. So that's the end, installment 4. We'll talk to you later.